Congress. All of the legislative powers herein granted should be vested in a Congress of the United States, which should consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. The House of Representatives. The House of Representatives shall consist of members that are picked every second year by the people of the several states, and the people electing in each state shall have their qualifications. No one should be a representative who shall not have attained the age of 25 years and been 7 years a citizen of the United States. The Senate. The Senate of the United States shall be composed of 2 senators from each state for 6 years. Each of the senators should have 1 vote. No person shall be a senator who shall not have attained to the age of 30 years and been 9 years a citizen of the United States. Congressional elections. The times and places for elections of senators and representatives are assigned by the legislator thereof, but the Congress may at any time change the regulations. The Congress must assemble one at least once a year. Rules and procedures. Each House shall be the judge of the elections, returns, and qualifications of its own members. Each of the Houses may determine the rules of its proceedings. Each of the Houses shall keep a journal of its proceedings and publishing them from time to time, except the parts that are considered secrecy. Payment and privileges. The senators and representatives shall get a compensation for their services and paid out of the Treasury of the United States. No senator or representative shall be put into any kind of office under the United States authority in the time that they were elected. How a bill becomes a law. All bills for raising revenue shall come from the House of Representatives. The Senate can propose with amendments as on other bills. Each bill that has passed the Representatives and Senates go through to the United States. If they allow it, they will sign it. If they don't want it, they will send it back with their objections held accountable. Power granted to Congress. The Congress shall have the power to lay and collect the taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay the debts, and provide for the common defense. They use credit of the United States. Powers denied Congress. The advantage of the writ of habeas corpus shall not be suspended except in cases of rebellion or invasion, that the public safety may require it. There can be no favorites or preferences given. No money shall be drawn from the Treasury. Lastly, no titles of nobility shall be given to anyone by the United States, and no person holding any office shall receive the title of nobility. Powers denied the states. No state shall enter into or become part of any treaty or alliance. No state shall import or export any duties or imposts without consent of the Congress. Lastly, no state shall keep troops or ships of wartime in peace without consent of the Congress.
Terms of office. The President of the United States holds executive power. He holds, along with the Vice President, the following. Electoral College. Each state needs to nominate a number of electors equal to the whole number of representatives and senators. A person holding an office of profited trust under the United States should be appointed an elector. Election Day. The Congress has the power to decide the time of choosing the electors and the date on which they get to vote. Qualifications. No person except a natural-born citizen shall be eligible to run for president. People who are not over the age of 35 and have not lived in the United States for 14 years cannot run for president. Succession. If anything were to happen to the president, the vice president would go in his place. The Congress may provide for a case of removal for both the president and the vice president. This shall declare what officer should act as the president until disability be removed. Salary. The president should receive a compensation for his services. This amount should not increase or decrease during his or her term, and during this period he shall not receive any other annulment from the United States. Oath of office. Before he enters his office, he needs to take the following oath. I do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States, and will to the best of my ability preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the United States. Military powers. The President is the Commander-in-Chief of the Army, Navy, and militia of several states, when called into actual service of the United States. He shall have the power to grant reprieves and pardons for offenses against the United States. Treaties and appointments. The President has the power to make treaties with the advice and consent of the Senate. He shall appoint ambassadors, other public ministers, and consuls, judges of the Supreme Court. But the Congress, by law, may vest the appointed officers. Vacancies. The President should have the power to fill up all vacant spots that may happen during his term. He shall, if only deemed necessary, suspend one of the branches if there is a large disagreement between them. He shall receive ambassadors and other public ministers. He shall also take care of the laws, and he shall commission all of the officers of the United States. The President, Vice President, and all civil officers of the United States can be removed from office on impeachment for and conviction of treason, bribery, or the other high crimes and misdemeanors.
The judiciary. The supreme power is of the Supreme Court, along with any other inferior courts, and judges from both supreme and inferior courts must remain in a good manner to continue to keep their position in court, and may even receive an award for compensation. The court's authority. The judicial power should include law and exegy going into the Constitution, and it is their authority to pass these laws, which include ambassadors and ministers too. And they may hold parties between controversies between two different states, such as land or property. The Supreme Court will remain having the original jurisdiction overall in a state party, although Congress will have the authority to make their own exceptions or regulations. With the exceptions of impeachment, all other trials are ruled by the jury and must be held in the same state where the crime was committed, or Congress may direct where it can be, if not the same state. Treason. If treason is committed against the United States, it will not only have them levy war, but aid the enemies as well. However, no person will be convicted unless two different witnesses state their confessions. Congress is given the power of punishment towards the crime of treason, although there will be no bloodshed during the life of the very person who committed this crime.
State acts and records. Full faith and credit shall be appointed in each state to public acts, records, and judicial proceedings, similar to those of other states, and Congress may prescribe the manner in which records and proceedings shall be proved. Rights of citizens. Citizenship. Citizens of each state are entitled to all privileges and legal protections of citizens as other states. Extradition. A person charged in any state with treason, felony, or any type of crime who flees from justice and found in another state from where he or she fled, be delivered up and be removed to the state having jurisdiction of the crime. New states. Admissions. New states may be passed by Congress into this union, but they shall not be formed or erected within the jurisdiction of any other state, nor any state formed by the junction of two or more states, or parts of states. Congressional authority. The Congress has power to dispose of and make all needful rules respecting the territory of properties belonging to the U.S.
The Constitution was established to ensure domestic tranquility and to form a more perfect union. But the Constitution could be amended, formally changed. This allowed the Constitution to be able to adapt to the modern world. This amendment was created when 2/3 of both houses deemed it necessary. The Congress proposed the amendment to this Constitution, or on the application of proposing amendments.
Before Constitution, debts contracted and engagements entered were valid against the U.S. under the Constitution as under Confederation. The laws of the United States, which were made to be followed, the Constitution, and all other treaties made, are the supreme law of the land. Judges from all states should follow anything in the Constitution or any laws from any other state, with no exception. Loyalty to Constitution. The senators, representatives, members of the several state legislatures, and all executive and judicial officers from the U.S. and from the several states should pledge their support to the Constitution. There is not any need for any religious test to certify themselves to take part in office or public trust for the United States. Ratification. The ratification or confirmation of the work and actions of 9 states was all that was needed for the establishment of the Constitution between the states. The approval, ratification, was done by the unanimous consent of the states present on September 17, 1787, the year of our Lord and independence of the United States of America.